StockPulse debrief. In the mining sector, we've got Bonterra Resources, that's BTR in the venture, and BONXF over the counter in the U.S. as they achieve up to 99.4% gold recovery from the preliminary metallurgical studies, including up to 76.1% from the gravity circuit. I've got with me the VP of Operations, Peter Ball, and he's going to run down the results here. Hey, Peter, appreciate you taking the time here. I know Nav's over in Switzerland doing some marketing at the Denver Gold Forum. Obviously, you've been around the game quite a while here, 25 years experience up and down this sector. Why don't you go ahead and kind of break these results down here for the layman here who might not understand all these percentages and what we're really looking here with Bonterra.
Yeah, thanks, Rob, for taking the time. Good to chat with you again. Yeah, for any project, completing metallurgical studies is probably one of the biggest milestones or key catalysts, or what I call a de-risking mechanism in the development process of a gold project. First of all, you can have as much gold in the ground, but if you can't get it out, the project will never have the economics to bring it to production. So what we've seen today is, as you've seen in the release this morning, Rob, Bonterra's Gladiator Gold Project has achieved up to 99.4% of gold recovery from the project. And if you dive in deeper to the details of the metallurgical study, just recently completed by ALS out of Kamloops, British Columbia, Canada, we achieved 76.1% from the gravity circuit. Now, the reason I pointed out the gravity circuit is where you crush and you grind the rock, and it delivers gold, a certain percentage of gold, before it is ever floated, or the flotation circuit, or before it would ever go through a cyanide leaching process. So 76.1 is an amazing recovery rate from the gravity circuit, and completely beats basically most of our peers in the industry in regards to recovering the gold. The reason that the gravity circuit is so important and recovering the gold before you hit the flotation of cyanide, it's crushing and grinding. So the less effort you have to put in to extracting the gold from the rock, the better for the overall potential economics of the project. And the reason I say that is it's less power to crush and grind the rock, less reagents in the flotation circuit, and also do you need the cyanide circuit. So if we look again through the release, 76 up to 76.1 in the gravity. So there's two ways after you get the gravity circuit. You can dive into the flotation side of it, and you float and get a recovery, which yielded 97.3 for the Gladiator project. If you did a gravity plus cyanide, we achieved 99.4. So initial preliminary results from this study indicate that the Gladiator project potentially might not even need a cyanide leaching circuit. So this is not only good for not having cyanide in the circuit, less or better control of the environmental footprint in and around the project, but also it has huge implications in improving the potential future process economics of the project going forward.
And speaking of some of your peers, where does that put Bonterra in your peer group as far as these numbers go?
Yeah, so good question, Robin. So what we did is, after we just recently got the results over the last few days, put it together and finalize it with if we look at the gravity by itself, of up to 76.1%. Our average in the peer group across Canada and the U.S. ranges between, as low as 5 or 10% up to 40%. So a good average for our peer group is probably, let's call it 30 to 35%. So on the gravity side, we're nearly 100% better or have a higher recovery rate than our peer group in the industry, which is spectacular by all means. Again, it is all about how you extract the gold from the rock, how you can do it, how you can do it cheap, and getting 76.1 is spectacular. When you look a little deeper into the flotation and cyanide, I don't think I've ever seen rock as clean as 99.4% recovery on the cyanide, and even not having a cyanide circuit of 97.3. So again, outdone most of our peers, and again, this all helps in the ongoing studies that Bonterra is doing for the Gladiator project. And again, it's a big, what I call, de-risking mechanism for a project such as the Gladiator. You know, when you're looking at projects, you've got grade, you've got location, you've got the type of deposit, the thickness of the deposit. Is this deposit vertical? Is it underground? And this, again, everything relies on the metallurgical final, or the metallurgical studies, and this is preliminary, but we've got a really good handle on the recoveries right now. If you look in a little bit deeper into the type of the rock, we have probably one of the cleanest rocks. It's typical Abitibi greenstone quartz carbonate system. We have limited to no sulfides in the system. Like a few of our peers have some arsenopyrite or other pyrite, where some of the gold is maybe locked or within the sulfide system, which makes it a little bit more difficult on the recovery side. And I think one thing I didn't point out is, on average, over 70% of the gold was recovered at all grinding sizes in the test. So what this means is you have the rock crushed to a coarser size, which is larger, and as the more you crush it, it gets to a much more finer grind. So the good thing, or the wonderful thing about the Gladiator deposit, is that all grind sizes yielded a greater than 70% recovery on the gravity circuit, which again is fantastic.
So it seems like the wind is blowing right for Bonterra. So with this news in the back pocket here, what's up next for BTR?
So again, as we've been pushing through 2018, we initiated a winter drill program, which is coming to its end here very quickly, and then we're pushing with additional meterage through the year. We have a 70,000 meter drill program planned at Bonterra. We had the winter program, which was on the ice. The ice is just starting to melt, so we'll be off the ice here in the next week. And we're really pushing for the metallurgy on time in April. We hit our mark. We're on track for our meterage at site to continue the infill expansion, definition, resource development program at the project. And then everything's coming to what we're aiming for is the second half of 2018 to complete a resource update. We've done, or will have completed, nearly 100 and some thousand meters since the last resource update, and most of the holes, or pretty much all the holes, have hit solid gold grades similar to the historical resource or the resource we have from 2012. So it should be a big year, and we'll finish off the year with a resource and keep pushing forward.
Okay. Peter Ball, VP of Operations, Bonterra Resources, BTR in the venture, BONXF, over the counter in the U.S. Peter, thanks again for the update. Certainly look forward to tracking BTR's success and look forward to catching up with you soon.
Thanks, Rob.